It's Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's complete. Another touchdown!
Cougar Sports Saturday. A presentation of KSL Sports.
Left wing for three. He got it again!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Here are your hosts, Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome back into KSL News Radio, your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, talking BYU basketball here on KSL. And joining me now is BYU basketball assistant coach Collin Terry. And Coach, you're in your first year with this BYU program. How's the first year been treating you so far?
It's been a dream experience for me. I've said in past interviews, my dad and uncle both played quarterback here at BYU. So I grew up, went to Skyline High School. So to be able to come home and be able to coach at BYU has been a total dream situation for me, for sure.
Refresh our listeners. Who were those quarterbacks that you relate to?
Yeah, so my dad was David Terry. He was one of the first quarterbacks to play for Lavelle Edwards. And then my uncle was Steve Lindsley, who used to work for KSL a long time ago. So
it's pretty cool. And did you ever? So have you kept up with BYU sports from your time away? But did you kind of always keep tabs on this place from afar?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always been incredibly impressed with the program here, whether it was Coach Rose, now Coach Pope, and every time that I was back in Utah, I would try and make an effort to come down and see Coach Pope and watch some workouts, talk hoops, all that other stuff, just because I love the way they do things and just an incredible program all around.
How did you get your start in basketball coaching?
Mitch, how much time do you have? I have a very unorthodox path, but long of the short of it is I used to be a financial advisor, and that's what I did my master's degree in. I did that for a few years, and I always really wanted to coach. I didn't know how to kind of make the leap, and fortunately, I was a redshirt walk-on at Utah with Andre Miller and reconnected with him. He was playing with the Denver Nuggets at the time, and that kind of got the ball rolling as far as the NBA and the professional ranks, and it's been an incredibly great journey, and so thankful that I get to do what I love and I'm passionate about every day.
Do you still keep in touch with Andre?
Yeah, in fact, I actually texted him today. He's the head coach of the Nuggets, the Denver Nuggets G League team, and coached against him a couple times last year, which was a lot of fun. And so really grateful to him, and he's had a major impact, in every area of my life.
You brought up the G League. You were there before coming to BYU. What's life like in the G League?
I love the G League. It was a really great experience because you're working with really, really good players. I mean, I think just even in the last 2 seasons, I had the opportunity to coach 9 or 10 guys that had been drafted. 3, I think, of those guys were first-round picks. So you're working with high-level players, and being with the Charlotte Hornets organization the past 2 years was really great because we would spend so much time working with their coaches and players. We were very integrated with everything going on. And so you could argue from a talent and athleticism perspective, it's the second best league behind the NBA. And the NBA has done a really good job of cultivating the G League, where you have, I think at the beginning of this year, maybe 50% of the players on rosters had played in the G League at one point. So it's a great place to learn and grow and develop as a coach.
Having all that experience in the professional ranks, do you see players in this BYU program that maybe have the body types or the athleticism, the measurables that can maybe one day be at the G League or even higher in the NBA?
Absolutely. I mean, especially from a skill perspective. With the NBA, it's such a three-point shooting game. And so being able to shoot the ball at a high level from three-point range is always going to make you very valuable, whether it's in the NBA or overseas.
Mark Pope and his staff, there's a lot of continuity. So how has it been being kind of the new guy into the staff? And I know it was a unique thing with all of college basketball opening up the bench a bit for a new assistant role, but has everyone embraced, you being part of this program?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I mean, the staff, starting with Coach Pope and then the other assistant coach, have been phenomenal. Going from the pros to college is definitely a different game. Different rules, different concepts and principles, and they've been so supportive and fantastic and helping me navigate all of that and, helping me feel welcome here as part of the program. And so I've really enjoyed every second, and it doesn't hurt that I got hired a couple days before we went on the European trip, which is a dream trip for sure. So it's been really, really great, and I've learned a ton from not only Coach Pope but just everybody else on the staff.
We hear from Coach Pope, Coach Fennell's kind of the defensive coordinator, Coach Feger offense, Coach Robinson's in charge of all the scheduling. What's maybe your kind of key role on a day in, day out basis with this program?
I just try and help with whatever needs to be done. I think Coach just kind of wanted to, when we initially met and gave me the opportunity, which I'm incredibly grateful for, he kind of wanted me to help and learn and all that other stuff. And so whatever needs to be done, I just try and chip in and help as much as I possibly can. And I love the role for me because it allows me to learn all the different aspects of college offense and college defense and, the recruiting piece and all that stuff. And so, Coach Feger's done a phenomenal job. We've had a top-ranked offense all year, so it's been great to watch him work and learn how he does things. And same with Coach Fennell. Our defense has been really good this year. And so I've really enjoyed kind of being a hybrid and being involved with everything.
Does your role consist of, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't consist of off-campus recruiting, right? So is it more kind of like putting their scout, analyzing film? Is it more centered around that?
Yeah, and I also do the recruiting piece as well. So I'm really lucky because I literally have my hands in everything. And so absolutely spend a lot of time watching film, breaking down film, whether it be on our opponents or potential recruits that we may be interested in pursuing, as well as spending a lot of time working with our big guys and doing that on the court and in the film room. And so it's fun because I'm exposed to all of this new stuff and I'm learning like crazy, and I love it.
You bring up the big guys. It's probably been kind of unique with all the one guy comes in and then another guy goes out, but would you assess how these big guys are coming along with Foose, Atiki, and of course Ali Khalifa?
Yeah, I think Coach Pope has done a really good job of he was a big man. Played in the NBA for, almost a decade and things like that. And so even just being around him and seeing how he teaches and works with the guys has been really awesome. And I think he's done an incredible job along with the rest of the staff of really developing all the players, but especially the bigs. And so I've just tried to add to what's already been going on. And I think they've done a good job. I think it has, we've encountered a few injuries and some sickness, and sometimes things happen. But I think we've done a really good job of having a next man up mentality and being ready to go and ready to play.
You brought up earlier the kind of differences in learning college offenses and defense. What's beyond just the pro and amateur designation? What's kind of the biggest difference to you in the college basketball world compared to the professional ranks?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of differences. I think it's a completely different game, and I think we just talked about the big guys, right? Like college is a very big post-up game, okay? Whereas the NBA, somebody like a Jokic or a Joel Embiid, they're going to post up, right? But even they don't do it at a super high usage level as well. So post-up's a big component of the college game, different rules, different concepts and principles. And so that was kind of one of the main reasons why I left the pro game, is because I really wanted to continue to grow and learn and develop and all that. And I've always been passionate about the college game as well. And so really just grateful for the opportunity to do that.
Where did you find your passion for basketball, you feel?
Just growing up, I've just always loved the game. I was the kid that in high school on a Friday night, a lot of times was down at the Stake Center shooting hoops, working on my game, or whether it was in the summer in my backyard. I was lucky enough to have a hoop in my backyard with some space. And so I've just always loved the game. And prior to getting into coaching, I was working in finance and things, and that was great, but I just missed the camaraderie, the teamwork, being a part of a staff, working with players. I even miss the roller coaster of winning and losing, even though I hate losing. But you even miss like all the aspects of all of that. So just, getting back, getting into coaching and being able to take this journey, it's taken me all around the country, it's taken me around the world, and it's just been really, really fun. And just like I said before, super grateful I get to do it.
Last thing for you, I know your feet are planted here and you're all in on this team, but, as career-wise, like, do you want to one day maybe be a head coach in college basketball if you really enjoyed this experience being in the college ranks?
Absolutely. I think everybody that gets into coaching at one point wants to do that. I think it's definitely a dream of mine to do that at the college or professional ranks. But one thing I've really learned, just being around some really great coaches at the pro level or college or whatever, is I've always just tried to be really great at where I'm at and not even worry about anything else. Grow where you're planted, excel at that, and everything takes care of itself. So that's kind of the philosophy that I've tried to institute in my career, and I think it's been very beneficial.
Well, thanks for the time, Coach. It's a pleasure chatting. First time we did this, and looking forward to the rest of this season with this BYU team.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and go Cougars.